What is up, my beautiful people? Hope you're having a tremendous day. Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Gonna lighten things up a bit with some more r/AskReddit. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Okay, so the question was, teachers of Reddit, what is the funniest thing you've ever heard a student say? So many things, but a couple of my favorites. 13-year-old student. I know this isn't math, but I can't remember. Is ham a fruit or a vegetable? Another time, I was sharing information about math and art and mentioned Leonardo da Vinci. A student said, "The pizza guy?" I was confused, but later she said, "See? The pizza party!" We were looking at the painting of the Last Supper. One time, I was asking students their birthdays. One boy told me that his birthday was September 31st. I tried to explain this was not possible, but he insisted. Later, I looked it up. I then informed him that his birthday was November 17th. He looked at me kind of confused and said, "Oh." Then his face brightened and he said, "Well, last year I know it was September 31st. Was tutoring after school a couple years ago. A kid asked, "What time is it?" I joked, "Time for you to get a watch." He responded, "Time for you to get a new joke," without a moment's hesitation. I had to laugh at getting shown up by a 5th grader. 2 reading levels behind, but witty as heck. I teach sophomores. One day, this girl was sitting at her desk, looking very concerned and obviously wanting to ask me something. Finally, she blurted out, "Did anybody else see the moon in the sky during lunch? It's supposed to be out at night. Something is wrong." Grad student, so I have to TA for various professors. In my medieval history class, I had a student write in his paper, "The story of Hrafn's saga takes place in the mythical land of Iceland." All the medieval studies grad students still laugh at that one. Also, for a film class I TA'd, we were watching Schindler's List, and the professor shared a story about Holocaust survivors and her family. Then a student said, in front of a class of 150, "Oh, you mean you're Jewish? I thought they were extinct." Me, also Jewish, and the professor just laughed. People have tried for centuries, but we naturally have thick hides, I ended up saying. At least we started a very heavy subject with some levity. At the time, I was teaching middle school math, and we were going through solving 2-step equations. We came to the point of having the students make their own real-world problems for them to solve, and then have a partner solve the problems each made. The one caveat I put on the activity was that each situation had to be appropriate. One student then chimes in with, so that means we can't make a question about dead hookers, right?" It was extremely difficult not to laugh in front of a classroom full of 13 and 14-year-old middle schoolers. My stepmom still brings this up 7 years later. I have a fantastic story for this. I'm not a teacher, but when I was in 8th grade, we had a teacher who was pregnant and often chewed us out. She taught us in an elective class that was basically for fun projects and creative learning. The class was a reward for students who scored highly enough on exams. Not that we were saints by any means, but the way she was rather mean toward us wasn't appropriate looking back. One day, she gave us an extended lecture on how tomorrow's Historical Society PowerPoint presentations were to be of the utmost seriousness. Heaven help us if we don't treat this like our lives depend on it. So, naturally, our class clown hatches a brilliant idea. He memorizes word for word his entire PowerPoint on some ancient culture, makes some edits, and the next day, very seriously, turns the flash drive over to her. He starts, and he has, unbeknownst to anyone, changed the entire PowerPoint font to wingdings, which is just some random symbols. He proceeds to do the entire presentation with dead-faced stoicism while we all laugh our butts off. She said nothing. The following Monday, she had reassigned and requested a transfer to another school. Our favorite teacher replaced her, making it the best class we all would take. All hail the wingdings guy. I teach band. One day, I'm working with a high school jazz band and we're going to start mapping out some basic compositions. I pass out blank sheet music for them to use, which is simply blank 5-line staves with no notes, no cymbals, etc. One kid gets his sheet music expecting it to be a new song we're going to work on, sees that it's blank, looks up and says, "Wow, budget cuts must have hit us hard, huh?" I had a student ask me when the world stopped being in black and white and changed to color. He was 16. As a teacher of high school Spanish, I had some students who, no matter how hard they tried, just couldn't get it. I worked hard with them and most eventually picked it up. But there was one boy who thought he was above it all. He disrupted class, and often when asked to speak, he just let go a burst of nonsense words that caused him to lose the respect of the class. One day, I had had enough, and I corrected him yet again. Not wanting to give up the floor, his answer to me was, "Well, at least, yo soy culo." In Spanish, that means, I'm an a-hole. Several members of the class understood why I was laughing, and one girl responded, "Oh, sí, eres el culo más grande de la clase," which means, yes, you're the biggest a-hole in this class. Thinking she had just called him the coolest boy in the class, he beamed and said, "Yes, yes I am." By the way, I don't speak Spanish, so if I got that wrong, I'm sorry. We were talking about cheetahs. Some fat kid said he could beat a cheetah in a race. The class predictably laughs and the kid shuts up. A minute later, he just turns around and says, "I can beat a fat cheetah in a race." He asked me, "If a synchronized swimmer starts drowning, do they all start drowning?" I lost it in class. Wore a Captain America shirt to school since the student council had a superhero day. A student said I looked like Captain America before the injections. One time, a kid asked me what I wanted to do when I grow up. Oh, that's savage. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed those as much as I did. That thread is hilarious. That was r/AskReddit, and if you want more Ask Reddit funny, then feel free to check out the link in the description below. Thank you so much for coming by. Now you go out there, have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.